nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have no room back here. I'm just tired. Welcome everyone to our October Parks Board meeting. I will start by reading the appeal of decisions. Pursuant to the provisions of 2.68.030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, please take notice that decisions of the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under a common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the board. Any person or other entity considering an appeal should consult with an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met. We'll move to the consideration of minutes. Assume everyone has read them. If there are not any changes, I entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes carry. Metro Council referrals today. We have Councilman John Cooper, Jeff Syracuse, who is now head of the Parks Committee for Metro Council, and former councilperson Lynn Williams is with us. Did I miss anybody? We will move to old business 091804, staff request board approval for acquisition of 2 parcels of land known as the Charles Smith property, totaling approximately 54 acres for future expansion of the Stones River Greenway and Ravenwood Park. Ask Jeff Haynes, head of the acquisition committee, to give us a report.
The acquisition committee met and recommends this unanimously to the board.
I entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. We'll move to the consent agenda. If there's no objection, we'll consider the entire consent agenda together. Entertain a motion for approval unless there are any changes.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda carries. We'll move to new business. Let's skip 03 and do that last. We'll go to 101804. Mr. Josh Severins, representing the Harpeth Youth Soccer Association, requests the board to accept a donation of lighting upgrades not to exceed $130,000 to the existing soccer fields located in Harpeth River Park.
John Holmes will
John?
address that.
This is property that we lease from the state, and the agreement requires both the state and the board to approve any improvements. And we feel these improvements, the 2 additional lights, will make more usable playing area for the youth in that part of county, and so we support this.
Any questions for John?
Is that the property right off of 70 there in the state?
It's right off, it's right there in Bellevue near the, 40. I guess that's 70, yeah.
Yeah.
Right there on the river.
So flooding wouldn't affect this at all as far as...
It does flood, but there are currently 6 poles, so this would just be 2 additional poles in that same area. But yeah, that area is a flood area.
And you would recommend approval? The
Yes, sir.
staff does?
Yes, we do.
Any further questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, John. 101805, staff requests board approval for acquisition of approximately 2.89 acres of land known as the Anthus Drive property for future development of Cumberland River Greenway and Wharf Park.
Cindy.
So we request that that be deferred to the acquisition committee next month.
That will be deferred to acquisition at the next meeting. All right. All right, now we'll move to 101803. The Mayor's Office in Gerontina LLC requests board approval for the swap of 2 parcels of land known as Church Street Park and 301 James Robertson Parkway, and acceptance of $2 million from Gerontina LLC for development of a new park at 301 James Robertson Parkway. We're going to have a presentation from the Mayor's Office from Brian Kelsey, but Councilman Cooper. Sorry about that. Wrong Cooper, but same family. John.
Thank you. I'll be very brief, and thank everybody and Mr. Chairman for recognizing me. On the matter that you're about to consider, I do have, and I have the advantage of being a frequent guest in your hearings, and to that end, wanted to draw the board's attention to the ordinance governing the Parks Board, passed in July of 1969 and amended. It's a fascinating 125-page document that I know Director Odom lives by. And in that, there are 2 items that are very important in the consideration of the next item. One is 3000.25 and 3000.29. And 3000.25 says that the Parks Board should establish a committee to evaluate all requests for acquisition and disposition of park property. Form a special committee chaired by your planning representative. And to make every effort to report back in the next month, but ultimately, you all have a very hard job, but I think past councils have tried to help you with that job a little bit by pointing out a process. Now, also in 3000.29, it specifically says, in the event of a public-private partnership. Now, this deal is always described as a public-private partnership downtown. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's just that downtown it's described as a public-private partnership. And if it is a public-private partnership, for that committee, chaired by our planning representative, which is wonderful, it must be, first of all, it must be consistent with the Greenways Master Plan. So you all will have to determine if the proposal is consistent with the Greenways Master Plan. And if it is consistent, and then it is only applicable to assets not being utilized for parks and recreation services. So if it is not being utilized by Parks and Recreation, then it can be considered for a public-private partnership. So you're going to have to make that determination. And then, if you've gone through those 2 tests, there's some other tests too, that of course, this has to be open to a proposal from the whole community. Now, I think when this was written, this was particularly focused on the potential exclusion of minority contractors in any deal that was passing through the Parks Department, and of course that's appropriate. But an RFP process is the process of choice. The process of choice. So has there been an RFP? Has it been opened up to the entire community? Is another profound question for these committees going before. Then it says if you've gone through all of that, and you've had an RFP, and the committee is beginning to look favorably at it, there have to be 2 community meetings. 2 community meetings that will be conducted by the staff and the council people. And the plan, and this is going to be complicated, possibly, the plan should be endorsed by the council representatives, plural. Plural. So I don't know quite what that means. I think it may mean all the at-larges as well as the district council people, because it's clearly plural. It has to be endorsed by the council representatives. Now then, it has to be found not to be in conflict with the general land use plan. Now in this case, that's DTZ zoning downtown, and if you look at DTZ zoning, then parks and greenways are publicly owned land and should follow the standards set out by parks. So it's back to you to determine if this is following the standards set out by parks. Now, the DTZ plan complains quite a bit about the lack of parks and open space downtown. So it would be ironic to, to reduce that amount of land. But to this end, I wanted, before you got into the discussion, to realize how fundamental I think 3000.25 and 3000.29 is going forward. And being on the Parks Committee at the council and being on the council itself, I will request you to follow your ordinance, which is governing how you are evaluating the disposition of park property. And again, I think it's just important that we get back into boards who do a magnificent job for our city, really doing that job for our city, and asserting really the importance of parks in our community. Now, you all have look after, manage for us a treasure, and that treasure has become materially more valuable in the last 4 or 5 years, and everybody seems to want it now that it is more valuable. But you are our guardians, and I just want to say there is a process for you being our guardians before it even gets to the council. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for recognizing you.
Thank you. So I'll ask Brian to take the podium. Just a couple of points. This will go to Acquisition Committee, so today's just a presentation. And also, there will be a public, the Park Board will have a public hearing on October 22nd. We'll talk about that after this, of what time that will be in this room. So, Brian Kelsey, welcome.
Good afternoon. Thanks very much for your time and consideration of this proposal. I'm Brian Kelsey. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer in Mayor Briley's office. And we'll wait 1 second while you make your way around here at the table. We've also got copies going to members to the attendance today. Okay, since we do expect this to go to the Acquisitions Committee, I'm going to be brief. I just want to touch on the high points of the proposal, level set expectations before anything else is mischaracterized in here today, so we can all have a common set of facts about what the proposal looks like and what we expect the timeline to be. So if you will turn your attention to the proposal document in front of you, and hit the high points here about what we expect this to achieve. On the Metro side, the proposal is to acquire a parcel at 301 James Robertson Parkway. You can see the appraised value and the size of the parcel on the page there, your number 1. It's roughly equivalent in size to the Church Street Park parcel, and I'll come back at the end and say something about the appraisal and some further information we expect to have available. The proposal includes a $2 million payment from the developer to create a new park at 301 James Robertson Parkway, achieving no net loss in Metro-owned park space downtown, and providing potential opportunity also to highlight the historical significance of the adjacent Sunday School Publishing Board property. If you think about that triangular shape property just east of the National Baptist Convention Sunday School Publishing Board at that address, you might remember that Metro Arts has the witness walls sort of right across the street there, and part of what we're hoping can be included here is some kind of tie-in with that important civil rights monument for the city if we do get to build a new park there. The proposal also includes up to $25 million in council-approved GO bonds to construct a LEED certified building with at least 100 units of permanent supportive housing, and accompanying service center at an already Metro-owned property at 505 2nd Avenue North. The vision for this would be really sort of a first of its kind anywhere as far as we can tell. 100 units of housing for 0 to 30% income, but mostly focused on people who are experiencing homelessness today. Would also serve as kind of a one-stop shop for homeless services, including office space for the Metro Homeless Impact Division. Finally, on the Metro side, the proposal includes using tax revenue of approximately $2 million annually generated from the new development at 600 Church Street, which can be used toward debt service or operational costs for the homeless service center and housing at the Metro-owned property. Now, what would the proposal include for the local developer? They would acquire Church Street Park. You can see the appraised value there and the size of the parcel. The local developer would pay $2 million to Metro to build the new park at 301 James Robertson. There's been a commitment to invest up to $5 million on Ann Dallas Dudley Boulevard between Church and Union there, including a public engagement process to turn that into a pedestrian-friendly modern boulevard. So up to $5 million there. At no charge, there's been a commitment on behalf of the developer to assist with project development and construction oversight of the permanent supportive housing and service center at 505 2nd Avenue North. And the last bullet there is the proposal as I think it stands today. There would be a new tower constructed with an estimated cost of $200 million at 600 Church Street. Importantly, there is no suggestion of tax incentives or other subsidies from Metro on any kind of proposed development for that property. So that's the proposal that we're putting forward. We appreciate this board's consideration of it, and we look forward to what I know will be a robust public discussion. Before I close, and I'll be glad to take any questions if there are any, I do want to turn your attention also to the timeline, which is the second page we distributed. This is a working draft at this point. We still have to kind of build in some of MDHA process and also, of course, the Metro Council process. But I just want to point out that top section. We made a commitment not to file anything else on this proposal until the Parks Board made a determination on it. And if you can look at the timeline here, I think this follows that commitment. So today, obviously, we wanted to introduce the proposal. We have a tentatively scheduled public hearing on October 22nd. And if you look down a bit further, there will be several other public meetings in the planning process and then also at MDHA. We expect the Acquisitions Committee to meet at your regularly scheduled board meeting next month, and we'd ask that you consider taking action on this proposal next month. Thanks for your time, and I'd be glad to take any questions.
So who can maybe explain the process in terms of how has to come in front of the Park Board first for approval, and does it go to the council?
So if you look at the timeline, it comes to you guys, and if you take action on the 6th, and let's just say, for the sake of argument, that it's approved, then the other processes would start. So there would be a community plan amendment filed for the Capital Mall redevelopment plan that would kick off a series of planning commission meetings and work on it. It would also involve MDHA in doing an amendment to their downtown plan. And then after all of that was finished, assuming it made it all the way through those steps, then it would go to council.
So it would be good for everyone to hear the process. So. All right, well, thank you, Brian. Are there any questions?
So, Brian, explain to this board why there was no RFP process.
Well, so this has been discussed before, and I'm going to sort of reiterate the mayor's argument here. Ideally, most transactions will include some kind of RFP process. That is the default for what I think anybody would argue is good government. There are exceptions, and this is one of those exceptions. This was a proposal that was brought to us for consideration. We were fairly transparent over the last 6 months, if you recall. Some of this information made it out into the public as early as April. We have been discussing this along the way with adjacent property owners, both around Church Street Park and at the 301 James Robertson site. through that time and through that participation from not only adjacent property owners, but members of the providers of homeless services and feedback we've gotten from them, I think this has been much improved over the past few months. And it's one of these opportunities that I feel like if it's our duty to weigh the pros and cons of every proposal and try to do what's best for the city, this kind of falls squarely in that box for me.
Okay. Second question. Let's assume we acquire the James Robertson Parkway property and we start work on that building. And yet the developer takes title to the Church Trees property, and because we're in the 9th inning of the cycle, never gets financing and he never starts work to generate the tax revenues to help pay the debt service for the building. What happens?
Well, I don't want to engage too much in hypotheticals because there are a lot of things that might not go exactly as this timeline dictates. But we're trying to do our best to be thoughtful and careful and have plenty of contingency planning in place.
So as chair of the acquisitions committee, I need to understand that what if prior to the November meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, but we'll have that information well before the November meeting.
Okay.
And Tom Cross is here, and he can answer any questions about the proposal. One thing I did forget now that we're talking about this, the point on the appraisals. So if you recall, there was some recent legislation in council to change the way that Metro procures appraisals for property, going to what's known as the income-based method. Finance Department has ordered new appraisals for both 301 James Robertson and the Church Street Park parcel, and we will have those available before the public hearing for review.
Any other questions?
I just want to understand about the appraisal while we're on that.
Sure.
So there was only one firm selected for the appraisal, and so will the new appraisal be done by the same firm, or will it be done by a different firm? Will there be more than one appraisal?
No, there's only going to be one new appraisal, as far as I understand, and I'm not sure who finance ended up going with to do those appraisals, but I can get that information for you.
So then that appraisal is being paid for by Metro?
Correct.
It's not being paid for by any private?
No, both the appraisals done, the one mentioned here on the handout that was done, I believe, last fall, that was Metro purchased, and this new appraisal will also be Metro.
Okay. Are there, I have a number of questions. Is there going to be an opportunity to see the park? I'd love to see a map to understand a little bit about the relationship between the new potential park and the new potential service center. Are we going to see what it looks like? It's kind of, I'd like to understand a little bit more about what is exactly being proposed.
Yeah, so there will be a full presentation planned for the public hearing. And in the interim, we have as much information about kind of all sides of this proposal as you would like to see. And in terms of what a new park might look like at the 301 site, that's probably a question I would defer to Monique and others to probably take the lead on, because that's not really my subject matter expertise. But for any questions involving the new development with the 100 housing units in the homeless service center, we'll have all that information available in the coming weeks.
Is there a parking study for the potential new building that would go on the Church Street? So is there traffic study or parking study that would be included in some of the proposals that are put out?
So whatever information that would be required in terms of going through the Planning Commission and the other steps on the private side is going to be up to the developer to take care of. Honestly, that's not our focus. Our focus on this is to really look at the benefits to Metro here, and what happens on the Church Street Park side and the information that has to be provided there to go through those other steps is going to be up to the developer to provide.
I'm interested in the commitment to invest in the street and the Ann Dudley Boulevard. The way it's worded in this is that the commitment could be up to $5 million. So if it was $1 million, like how is it determined how much that ultimately is? Could it just be $1 million, or would it be 5 or somewhere in between?
So, we chose that language very deliberately, and the expectation we put on the developer was to have some kind of public participation process. So, my understanding is that they have engaged the Civic Design Center to kind of take the lead and figure out what that process would look like. The way the commitment is worded is up to $5 million. I hope through the public participation process that we have robust participation, and we can plan a very modern, very pedestrian-friendly boulevard in what is now basically an alley. And so that's the developers committed up to that funding amount. If the community decides that they only want $1 million worth of improvement, I imagine that's where the outcome would be. But I hope it's, given our focus here is to do what's best for the city, my hope is that we can kind of push that upward bound.
Will that be part of the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. On the 22nd. Give me more. Is there any other questions? Stan and Michelle? All right. So thank you for that. And so I think what we should do is actually entertain a motion to send this to acquisition and to adding the public hearing on the 22nd. And after we pass that, we can decide on what time we'll have that public hearing.
That's on the Monday, correct?
Right.
So I'd love, before we do that, to get legal counsel's response to Mr. Cooper's reference to these two ordinances. Do we need 2 public meetings? I want to make sure we're going to follow the proper protocol to follow our city law.
What he's presented this morning to make sure that we recommend whatever necessary.
Yeah, if we could get research on those 2 ordinances and make sure we follow the proper steps,
Yes.
that'd be great.
All right. So, entertain a motion. So moved. Second. Any discussion?
What is the motion?
The motion is to send this to acquisition committee.
Okay.
And also to have a public hearing on the 22nd, just so we can formalize those next steps. Any discussion on the motion and the second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carries, so this will go to acquisition. While we're on this topic, let's think about a time to start the public hearing. I'll just insert, I think it needs to be much later in the day so the public can come after work. And so if someone wants to suggest a time to start, would be helpful. What do they typically do? We don't do many of them in parks, so.
About 6 p.m.
6 p.m., does that work for everybody? Is everybody good with that? Do we need a motion on that, Macy, or are we good?
As long as you all
Agreed.
Publicly notice it and set it pursuant to
Okay. So we'll start at 6 p.m. on the 22nd, and we'll have it in this room. All right, well, thanks for everybody and your input. So that finishes our new business. We'll move to today's special presentations. First is Dr. Sherry Barkin, representing the Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, to present the annual report and music on the Nashville Collaborative.
Thank you very much to the board for this opportunity to give you an update on the Nashville Collaborative. This is a community academic partnership between the Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt and Metro Parks and Recreation. And I'm delighted to, I will not be singing today's performance, but maybe we will have some accompaniment. This is a great opportunity to update you now that we have had this partnership successfully for 10 years together. So I recognize there are many people on the board that are new, that know probably just a little bit about the Nashville Collaborative. I want to make sure that everyone's clear about what this is. I'm going to hit the highlights of the key things that we've learned, and then sort of put it all together for lessons learned in this first decade of such a successful partnership. Next slide, please. So this was approved by you all May 2008. It was officially launched June 2008. We have completed 11 funded projects so far with separate grant support. And the mission of this partnership is to measurably improve child and family health, prevent chronic diseases, and reduce health disparities by developing and testing innovative, sustainable, evidence-based, and family-focused programs in Metro Parks community centers. Next slide, please. The reason why we launched this 10 years ago is we recognized that science benefits from practical research, the community benefits from an evidence-based, sustainable approach to programming, and if we do this well, this improves the health of our children in our communities. Next slide, please. Here's just a snapshot from June. Yes, I know Director Odom loves this picture. I do as well. 10th anniversary celebration. You can see that we have a partnership that goes beyond Parks and Rec and the Children's Hospital. It includes the library. It includes many other partners, such as our schools, such as Second Harvest Food Bank, and many others. In fact, we've got a board representing more than 15 different community organizations. Next slide, please. So I'm going to hit the highlights about over the past 10 years. What are the key things that we've learned? We've learned that we can develop programs together that work to improve health outcomes. We focused on childhood obesity, working with underserved families. And here we saw that working with parent preschool child pairs, that we could decrease pediatric obesity with a 3-month, 12-week program. Here in this slide, you can see that if you were in the intervention group, that you were twice as likely to go from obesity to overweight or overweight to normal weight versus the control group that over a 3-month period continued to increase in obesity. Next slide, please. This is one of the only programs that has ever been shown to work. So then we wanted to know, could it be sustained? We were funded by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation to do this. We wanted to know 1 year later, what happened? Did people continue to use Parks and Recreation? Did they use it in a different way? What we cared about together was some paradigm-shifting programs. That is how we bring both parents and young children to use this gem, this treasure of Parks and Recreation to improve overall family health. What you're seeing on this slide here is 1 year later, after all programming ended, more than 50% of those families were continuing to use Parks and Recreation, parents and children together, at least weekly, compared to the group that had the same geographic access of within 5 miles, 70% of whom weren't using Parks and Rec at all. So sustained use of Parks and Recreation to improve the public's health. Next slide, please. So then you are going to ask the question, well, why do these types of programs work? We measure a lot of things together. This is a social network map. We care about improving the health of families in the communities that they are living, to utilize what they have better to get to better. That's Parks and Recreation. And I really believe our secret sauce is building social connectivity in the places where families live, work, and play. And that's what you're seeing here, the intervention group versus the control group. Both of them, over the period of these programs, increase their social networks, but the intervention does so in about a 6-fold difference in terms of density. Next slide, please. Now, something else that we care about is sustainability. So we always collect cost. How much do these programs cost? Great if they're innovative, great if they work, but how about sustaining them? This is just giving you a sense. We've got 11 programs that we have developed and tested. I'm not going through all of them, I'm hitting the highlights here. But in our most recent program that we launched just last spring, the Teaching Kitchen Outreach, we call it TKO, it's just $1 to $3 per meal per child that participates. For the GROW program, which was an 8-year randomized controlled trial that we just finished, it was about $2.84 per child. We don't want to develop something that's merely good and that merely works. We want to make sure that if it does work, it could be sustained. Next slide, please. Now, we didn't know about Plan to Play when we started this 10 years ago, but what we found is that all of the programs that we have developed and tested have been aligned with the strategic Plan to Play. This is just a quick highlight so you can crosswalk it with the GROW program, which was Growing Right On to Wellness, our largest initiative together as the Nashville Collaborative. So an example here is Plan to Play key goals. Number 1, integration of health. For the GROW program, it was about parent, preschool, child recreation center-based programming that focused on healthy eating, activity, and use of built environment to improve the health of families, looking at 2-generation solutions, not one child at a time, but how we look at families in communities. And we showed with the GROW trial that we improved child nutrition and sustainable use of parks and recreation 3 years later. We also have worked on community partnerships, including, of course, Vanderbilt University Medical Center, community pediatric clinics, and the Nashville Public Library, to name just some. These partnerships are active even though these past programs have ended. And then, of course, the economic value. I gave you a sense of that. We also are very focused on whatever the programs we develop, are they equitable? So the GROW program in particular introduced diverse low-income families to parks and recreation. This has resulted in increased diversity of patrons and utilization of after-school and summer programs. Next slide, please. Now here's our most recent, this is our 11th project that we launched this summer called the Teaching Kitchen Outreach Program. Before TKO started, we had 4 participating centers. We had developed teaching kitchen programs, which builds new skills. So knowledge is necessary but not sufficient. How do we build skills? We had 4 participating centers in our early studies, 6 participating staffs, no master trainers, and we reached about 80 children. Since last spring, when we mentioned that we were launching this, we have now expanded to 25 participating centers, 29 participating staffs, 2 master trainers to create sustainability, and we have reached 620 children and their families. So this is really a testament to why you really care about effective partnerships like this, because we can scale and spread effective programs such as TKO. Next slide, please. We collect data as we go. We want to always test our assumptions. How many children are we reaching? How much does it cost? Do people like what we're doing? And you can see that we collect those data as we go with our partnership. This is not Vanderbilt collecting data. This is parks and recreation facilitators that are paying attention and measuring what counts because it counts to them. Next slide, please. We have all kinds of fabulous testimonials in front of you. You have just our report. This is funded TKO by a philanthropist in our community. What we did was we summarized just our early launch, and here are some of the staff testimonials. The kids really enjoyed the recipes. I think that it'd be great to create a lesson on the 5 tastes. The kids enjoy this recipe. They like the flavor of cauliflower and cheese. They mentioned they wanted to make this on their own because it was so good. All the kids enjoyed making trail mix. They wanted multiple bags, and I heard the kids say, I'm going to make this at home. This actually is what we're doing with TKO. We're not just showing, we're doing. We're building skills. Often we expect parents to teach children. In this case, our children are teaching their parents. Next slide, please. So this is just an example with every one of our programs through the Nashville Collaborative, building sustainability at the front end. Here are some examples, and I'd like to thank Juan Escofrier, who is our program manager and leads this program. He conducted booster training in September. This has then been integrated into new regional centers. We measure the effect of TKO on child behaviors. We generate ideas for 2-generation solutions to improve health for families. parents and children. We integrate into existing programs, so we catalyze what is already good about Parks and Rec and make it grander. We develop cost tracking systems, partnership and funding opportunities. Next slide, please. So a lot of words, but this is what it looks like. This is Miss Lauren teaching a teaching kitchen. This one had about 35 children. She said that they were going to be learning how to make pizza, so they were excited, and then she said, with zucchini. And you can see, I love these two little girls' expression. Their jaw is dropped because they really weren't sure about the zucchini part. We use zucchini instead of bread, in case you all want that as well. Next slide, please. What we've done for sustainability is we created tools so that we're able to spread these types of tools so that Parks and Rec staff can learn how to do this and implement it with high quality, teaching these skills in a way that is sustainable. So here are spinach balls. I did convince Representative Love to have a spinach ball. He didn't like spinach, but he did agree to try it, and he liked it after he tried these. Next slide, please. You can see it's about doing. It's not about just knowing. Next slide, please. And this kid is with Representative Love and actually does love these spinach balls. Next slide, please. So I am just giving you a quick snapshot of 10 years of this successful, sustainable partnership, the Nashville Collaborative. Our goals are that it's always got to be measurable. It has to be sustainable. We need to have paradigm shifts, so it's 2 generations. We want to make sure it's aligned with Plan to Play. We want to make sure that we are making a difference every day together to families and the communities served by Metro Parks and Recreation, and that we're developing best practices across the country. In one of our studies, we actually exported this to Nevada, Michigan, and Georgia, and we were invited to present at the National Parks and Recreation Association. So I would like to end by having all of the partners who have been involved in the Nashville Collaborative to please stand. Sherry Hips was really instrumental. Of course, Director Odom in all of her many roles. No, please do stand up. Juan, please. Angela and Misty, please join me in thanking them. Thank you. And then lastly, we were just filmed for TKO for Talk of the Town. It's going to be on October 11th at 11 a.m. If you watch Talk of the Town on Channel 5, you get to see it in action. I thank you so much for your support.
Thank you so much. It's always very impressive what y'all have done with that program, and what a great collaborative effort with Parks. Awesome. All right. Now we'll move on to the Friends of Metro Parks Disabilities Program to present an update. That's right. Sorry.
Good afternoon. My name is Janet Carpenter, and I'm the president of the Friends of Metro Parks Disability and Magic Program. It is a mouthful to say. What we are is a collection of parents, professionals, friends of the Metro Parks Disability Program, staff, and participants. In our program, we assist in helping the Metro Parks Disability Program provide programming for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities known as IDD. They currently serve approximately 80 individuals in their day program, which runs Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, or Monday, depending on what session we're in. And we also serve approximately 125 individuals through the sports leagues. It's our intention to assist the program in growing, providing more programming, and finding a way to serve the 150 individuals that we have on a waiting list for the day program, and the estimated 2,000 individuals here in Davidson County that have IDD. So we want to expand and serve more people. Some of the things that we have done last year is we've been co-sponsors of the sports leagues, which include basketball, flag football, soccer, volleyball, and this year we're adding floor hockey. For all the outdoor sports, we do them at Ellington Park on Friday and Saturday mornings from 9 to 12, and we've had a really good turnout. We've also have partnered with Belmont students on Saturdays so we can do some inclusion, so our kids love that. So we probably have our biggest turnout on Saturdays. These leagues have given the participants more training, more skills, more opportunities to compete, and has improved their performance in Special Olympic competition, as seen by our USA Unified Volleyball team bringing home the gold. It's also our hope to bring in more leagues and team sponsors to help keep the league free of charge to the athletes. Right now, the only charge is the bowling league, which is a $40 per session charge for it. And also in finding volunteers for the league and to help identify more athletes to participate. One of the things we started this past year is we also sponsored the Sports League banquet, and they all get medals with ribbons, and then for every sports they participate in, they get like a basketball or a football or whatever, so that has gone over really good. We also are providing 4 scholarships for the day program for each session. This scholarship pays for 1 day a week for a session for the participant who receives them. This is assisted families that are struggling and financially to help keep their adult children in the program and not just sitting at home watching TV and eating. While rides are, we also brought a large number of excess ride passes to help these families that are struggling financially too. It's one thing to get there and get back, but like when we go bowling, we take a bus over there, so we are furnishing the transportation that way. I have to keep looking here. We also have sponsored our art workshop, which just got put out 2 weeks ago, and we have filled up the first session, so we're going to open it to a second session. This will be held on Friday mornings at the Sportsplex and Friday afternoon. So we're really excited about that. We also would like to have several more guest teachers for the program, such as art, music, and dance, to expand the program and to further enrich the lives of individuals with ADD. We are also working with the disability program to assist in their new Take 5 program. This is something that Glenn's been trying to get going for, I guess, about 2 years now, and we've had our first one. We didn't quite have the turnout we wanted. We've got another one scheduled, I think in 2 weeks. It's going to be a Winnie roast at Bell Bend. So we're thinking we're going to have a better turnout there. But this is basically to give people like me and other caregivers a break from our adult children so that we can go home and just relax or go out to eat with our friends or whatever. So we're excited about that. We also are looking at having nights set aside to provide programming for parents as well. This will have guest speakers come and address topics such as estate planning, conservatorship, parenting tips on hygiene and dating for our population, as well as allowing the parents to bond and develop a support group amongst themselves. We also have a magic guild that was started after in Tom Stone's name, which is why we're a magic program also. In that group, we have 5 participants, 2 girls and 3 boys, and they have really made a lot of gains this year. They were able to go to a TPAC magic show, and that seemed to give them more of an idea of how the magic worked and what they could do. So they have become much more working together. Someone that really didn't quite get along are now getting along, so we're happy about that for sure in the group. They also have put together a 30-minute performance that they can do at different things, and they're hoping to perform at the Frisk Center later on this year. So we're excited about that also. Then last but not least is our big fundraiser of the year, which is coming up October the 27th. Hope everybody got an invitation. I think we passed them out, so please come. If you can't come, at least pass them on to somebody else that might like to come. This will be our second year to be partnered with Father Ryan. We do it at their theater, and this year we're actually having some of the students from Father Ryan to also participate in the program, so we're really excited about that. Dinner's going to be from 5 to 6:30. The sung through sign magic and music will start at 7 and should be over, we're hoping, by 8 or 8:30. This allows the program participants to showcase some of their skills and talents that they have learned and developed throughout the year. This will also act as our major fundraiser to help us further the goals already listed for assisting the disabilities program, as well as to showcase the community the benefits of this program and to raise awareness of how capable and awesome the participants are here in the disability program. So, any questions? if you have a chance, please come out and see us. We're really excited about it. They do a great show. It will make your heart full. So please come out. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Now we'll move to the next presentation, the Friends of Metro Dance, to present their annual update.
I'd like to introduce you. I've recently had the pleasure of meeting both Stephanie Higgins, who is the president of Metro Friends of Dance, and the co-president, Janice Turner, who to present today.
Thank you so much for letting us come today and share with you what we do. That seems to be recurring. Oh, here it is. Fabulous. As you can see from our mission statement, we are dedicated to supporting your efforts in providing dance education to the Nashville area. Here is some of the ways that we fulfill our mission. Over the past 2 years, we have bought 2 wood-sprung floors. One was installed in Studio B of the CPAS, which I'm just going to say CPAS. I think you all know what that is, and also the Luby Theater. These floors cost $20,000 apiece. The Luby Theater is available not only for the Metro dancers when they perform, but also for the community at large. Having a professional dance floor is a unique asset for the community theaters here in Nashville. Wrong way, sorry. Here we are. Over the years, Friends of Metro Dance has employ different instructors to come into the community centers to do some after-school programs. Currently, Winship Boyd, we call her our artist in residence. She comes to CPAS and uses, from our support, she uses the space and she creates different works that then she goes into the community centers to perform the works and share them with students and seniors. She visits these centers during the fall and spring breaks. We have a short clip. I'm not sure if my remote's going to do it. Let me jump over here and see if this will work. It's not going to work. I apologize for that. But her work is very interactive. She uses mostly Afro-Caribbean. She does some drumming and just let the children move to that. She created a work that was a story of a 15-year-old boy through his life and looking back. And so that was very applicable to both the seniors and the students to participate in and comment on with her and discuss. Sometimes Catherine Wilkening, as you know, who's the director of Metro Dance, she'll come to us with a special event that she wants to do. This year it was the Isadora Duncan Art, Myth, and Movement Workshop Weekend. You probably know that Isadora Duncan was the 20th century pioneer of contemporary ballet. Prior to the event, in March, there was a silk dyeing workshop at the Art Center, so you can see how we started partnering, and those tunics were then actually used for the performances during the weekend. On the weekend, there were master classes on Duncan technique. There was a lecture and film screen on Isadora Duncan's life and art. The performance on Friday evening was in conjunction with the Art of Dance exhibit at CPAC, and then on Sunday, we had 45 dancers that performed on the lawn of the Parthenon, and then into the theater, and then into where Athena sits. So it was a huge community that came together to do this. About 500 people attended during the weekend. Centennial Youth Ballet is just what we call the advanced students of Metro Dance. As you know, many athletes, student athletes that is, they have the time during the summer to go to different summer camps. We just call them intensives in the ballet world. As you can imagine, though, traveling and paying for housing and tuition of such an intensive is out of the reach for a lot of our students. So Friends of Metro Dance is dedicated to having a summer intensive here in Nashville for 2 weeks. We bring in nationally renowned teachers so that the students can experience different methods, different types of dance, and just different training and how those teachers communicate to their students. Even though we charge a tuition, it is a fraction of the cost of what a normal intensive would be, and we do that we subsidize it. We also give financial support to some families that need it just to enroll in some of the classes that you offer. We also give money for their attire. This last year, we also started a Point Shoe Fund. Being on point is something that the girls look forward to, and your staff is very good at waiting, making sure that they're ready and they're prepared to go on point. Even though the girls are very excited, sometimes the parents aren't, because point shoes cost about $100 a pair. So we've started this fund so that our performers in the Nutcracker will receive one pair of point shoes from us. Janet's now going to talk.
Our board members, all volunteers, are working towards the goal of providing quality dance, education, and experiences in Nashville. Our volunteer programming committee oversees the staffing necessary to support Friends of Metro Dance sponsored performances, work in cooperation with the Dance Division Supervisor, Catherine Welkening, to review dance programs for children, adults, and seniors, and recommend new programming opportunities. The fundraising committee identifies immediate and long-range financial needs, planning events and campaigns to raise funds, and identifies major prospects for support. Our membership committee reviews the bylaws of the organization as well as works to grow the membership of Friends of Metro Dance. And our public relations committee develops and oversees marketing, advertising, and public relation plans to promote Friends of Metro Dance programs, as well as develop a community outreach plan and to identify community partners. Our volunteers, much of our volunteers work in regards to our performances. The Centennial Youth LA has a set of costumes it uses, and in these slides here you can see that we are working on some new costumes for our mice from Nutcracker. Friends of Metro Dance purchases replacements and additional costumes as needed. For each performance, volunteers must alter the costumes to fit each dancer in that year's performance, as well as add in additional pieces. During Tech Week for the performances, our volunteers provide support for the tech crew, work in the back of the theaters to ensure everything is moving in a timely manner, work in the front of the theaters in ticketing, boutique sales, flower sales, cookie and water sales, as well as our Friends of Metro Dance membership table. And the cookies sold at the performances are made and donated by the dancers' families as well. After the performances, volunteers help break down the sets, loading the trucks, and preparing the costumes for storage. It clearly takes a village to put on a performance. For our fundraising, our proposed 2018-19 budget is a little over $100,000. We have several different ways in which we raise funds for Friends of Metro Dance. Our biggest fundraiser is the Mini Nutcracker, bringing in over half our budget. Our spring performance membership drive and our summer intensive are the next highest revenue raisers. We're relatively new to the big payback. Last year we began our Point Shoe Fund that Stephanie mentioned, which has generated some interest, and we plan on continuing with that focus for the next year. In the future, we hope to work with the Center of Nonprofit Management to create a 3 to 5 year strategic plan specifically for Friends of Metro Dance. It will include continuing with our current efforts of supporting the classes, programs, and events of the Metro Dance Division, while looking to the future for expansion and growth of those programs, and partnering with Metro Parks on a new cultural arts building at Centennial Park. Our fundraising committee will continue to grow sponsorships for our annual performances while we work to seek grants and increase awareness of the payback focus of the Point Shoe Fund. Our programming and public relations committees will work to increase partnerships between Metro Dance Division and the Nashville community, and even perhaps beyond there. Our membership committee will continue to reach out to the dance community and community at large to increase membership and impact on all. For our grand finale and your viewing pleasure, we hopefully have a short clip of the 2016 Mini Nutcracker.
I'm sorry. I know.
Uncle Drosselmeyer entertains the children with magic tricks and presents Clara with a unique parrot, the Nutcracker. With a whirl and a twirl, Uncle Drosselmeyer weaves the spell and transforms the quiet living room. The Nutcracker is miraculously transformed into a prince.
And I'll just quickly add, because I get asked this question a lot, every single one of those dancers you saw up there are students in the Metro Dance program.
Thank you so much for that update. Now we will move to capital projects. I know Tim is out today. Rebecca, any updates or?
Just a few. The Percy Warner Page Road parking lot project has, the contract has been awarded for construction there, so we'll begin to work with the Friends Group and the City of Belmead to coordinate that construction process and get notice out to the public. At Tony Rose Park, Metro Parks has received an additional $10,000 grant from the Tony Rose family to add to the improvements that are already planned for that park. So that's exciting. For the Jefferson Street Pocket Park project, we have been working on the design as well as meeting with a local group of historians. That it's been really enlightening, I think, for our staff and our design team. And through the Metro Arts Commission, we've also been able to bring an artist consultant on board to talk through ideas and also help us engage with the arts community in North Nashville. And then lastly, this kind of just came on the radar, but as we continue to work on design for Mill Ridge Park in Southeast, the artist, again, that has been brought on board by the Metro Arts Commission, that team will be in town next week. And I know it conflicts with some other events that we have going on, but on Wednesday the 10th, there'll be a public meeting to engage folks in Southeast about the public art for that park. That's it.
Thank you. Jackie, upcoming special events, activities?
Well, as usual, I get to tell you about all the good stuff. We have a lot of things going on in the month of October. October has proven to be just as busy as May or June. So you've got a list in front of you. I'm not going to go through each and every event. I'm just going to touch on some of the highlights. And if you have questions, feel free to call me or go on the website. This Saturday, 10 a.m., we have Celebrate Nashville Cultural Festival. I'm sure many of you all are familiar with that. It's a celebration of culture and diversity for the city. It starts at 10 a.m. in Centennial Park. This is the 12th year for that event, and we're very pleased to have it here. One of the things that's going to be unique about this particular year as opposed to previous years is that we will have a virtual reality glasses in the Global Village, and attendees will be able to be transported virtually to another country. One of the things that one of the vendors told us, and I thought it was very, very touching, he said, he came very emotional about the fact that he would be able to have his children look through these glasses and see his country. But this is what he said. He said, they will never be able to visit. I will never be able to return. But I could perhaps show them where they came from. So that just gives you an idea of how important this festival is to a variety of people here at Nashville. So I encourage you to attend. On the Friday before that, the Centennial Arts Center will celebrate diversity with this annual International Artists Exhibit, and that exhibit gets underway at 5 p.m. Then, on Tuesday, October 9th, we will have our second community meeting for the Jefferson Street Pocket Park. That meeting will be at the Hadley Park Community Center. On October 10th, which is on a Wednesday, at 5:30, the Conservancy for the Parthenon in Centennial Park, along with Metro Parks, will have an event called Wade in These Waters. This is an important conversation on the arc of the African American experience in our local park. Our panel will address our city's past, its impact on current day, and how we move forward in the future. This panel is going to be moderated by Phyllis Hildreth. She's with the American Baptist College, and the panelists include David Ewing, Howard Gentry, Revis Mitchell, and our own Parks Director, Monique Odom. Then on Saturday, October 27th, 10 a.m., we will celebrate the grand opening of the 440 Greenway. Cindy is here. Do you have more to say about that?
Please come out. It's a big community event. Neighborhood groups are going to participate. We'll have food trucks and some music and activities along the 1.25-mile trek from Elmington to the little trailhead right out in front of this building. And just encourage everyone to come. It's going to be fun.
And you've already heard, I think one of the ladies that was here mentioned something about Song Through Signs. And this is with our disability program. It's our fundraising event. If you have never been to this event, I would strongly encourage you to come out and attend. It is wonderful what they do with music, magic, and song. And the tickets are, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're $50 for dinner and the silent auction, and I have down here $10 for the performance only. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So please buy your tickets.
It's a wonderful event.
Everything's online this year.
It is a wonderful event. And finally, we have a variety of events going on at practically all of our community centers and several of our nature centers for Halloween. One that I personally would like to point out to you is called Howl, H-O-W-L-O-ween. It's a costume contest, parade, games, and prizes at the Madison Community Center for your favorite furry friend. So that's it.
Thank you, Jackie. A lot going on. Some great stuff. All right, department updates. Any significant updates that anyone would like to give? Or are we so quiet over there? And lastly, the report of the director.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I feel like you've already heard so much of what's going on in the department, but I would like to say, in addition to our role as stewards of land and public land and open space here in the department, I'd just like to take the opportunity to really thank those partners that presented today from the Nashville Collaborative, the TKO program, and our 10-year partnership, the Disabilities Program, and the Friends of Metro Dance. We have so many wonderful community partnerships that allow us to extend ourselves here at Parks and Recreation, extend the programs and services to all areas of the community. And I just want to thank them for all that they do for Nashville. I'll briefly say that share a few things that are going on internal to the department. Our park police is preparing to offer to some of our facilities some active shooter training. They have we got some training earlier this year from folks from the Metro Nashville Police Department, which was really good training that we needed in this day and age. But it's called CRAZE Training, Civilian Response to Active Shooter Events. So Park Police will be heading that up and working with some folks at our different facilities. Additionally, our staff has, including myself, has started to register for QPR suicide prevention training, suicide awareness prevention training. It's a new training that's been offered by really the health department, and it's offered Metro-wide and strongly encouraged, not mandatory, but strongly encouraged for Metro employees to participate, to become aware of the signs of folks around us who may be considering suicide as an option, so we can take action and try to help prevent that. And then something else I wanted to mention. In the next month or so, we look forward to our Metro Council considering a capital spending plan. We are hopeful and have our fingers crossed for what comes to our Parks Department, and I will update you as I have further information. Thank you.
All right. Any further business? If not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.